Good morning. Good morning. Good morning out there. How y'all feeling? I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host, Takia Ross. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was about to say, how are you? How
I'm good.
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I went to Disneyland yesterday
Jealous.
and it was great. I needed a whimsical day.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I needed a whimsical day. I needed a day to like just be not an adult,
Mm-hmm.
or adult playing, you know,
Yes.
and just
Yes.
chilling.
I love that for you. I love that for you. And we talked about that last week about the
Mhm.
beauty of play and how that can be a form of rest and rejuvenation. And so I'm
Mhm.
so glad that you got to Disney it up. You know what I mean? As I got on my Bruno shirt. You know what I'm
I
saying?
see. I see. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Y'all
The universe
knew that I was supporting my friend. I said, you know what? We don't talk about Bruno. Let's do it again today. And then you was at the Disney.
It was great. It was great, and that was my first time going to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World.
Mm.
It's actually not too far from me. It's probably about 35 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
And they have two parks. So they have Disneyland, and right across from it, they have California Adventure Park. And
Mm.
so when you buy your Disney ticket, you can actually get tickets to the two parks, and then you
Really?
can walk, and it's literally walking like across the street. You're not literally across the street, but I'm saying like that's how close the gates are. Like you walk out of the Disney gate, you walk across to the California Adventure Park.
You know what? I
Um,
need to go on me because I've been to neither. I haven't been to Disney World or Disneyland.
oh yeah,
I haven't. And
yeah. Disney World, I think, has more. They're different. Let me say
mm,
that they're
hmm
definitely different. Um, both whimsical, I think, and but I don't know. I'm not gonna say one is better. I guess Disney World has like more things. They have like Epcot, the
hmm
Magic Kingdom. Like they have all these different like pockets of things.
Yeah.
Disneyland was like the original location, I think. So I
Mm.
think it's more of the oh, you Lisa, you said they can't hear. I don't know
They,
why you can't hear. We can hear each other. Chantel can hear us. Lita, can you hear us? Let's see if Lita's on YouTube too. So if Lita can hear us, then Elisa, you
all
might
they
have to
do
do something with your
is say,
settings. Um, but yeah. So anyway, I needed that kind of day because last week was kind of heavy for me. Just multiple things happened,
mm.
all in one day, just hitting my nervous system, and
Oh,
I was gonna go. So Lita can hear us, and she's on YouTube. Lisa, so it must be something that happened with your settings. Um, a lot, I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough time to process
mm.
things, right? And sometimes we don't even know what process means.
Listen, don't say it now. Now you
What
now
does it
you
mean to
preaching.
process something?
Now you preaching early in the morning. You starting. You starting.
Because you like what does that even mean? Well, your body will tell you. Okay, your body will let you know. Hey, I don't know what you was. I don't know brain. I don't know what your brain was trying to tell you to do, but we ain't doing that. So
Mm.
I'm gonna need you to chill. I mean, Saturday, I met up with some friends. I went to this amazing pop up,
Mm.
4 Moon Spa and 13 Loon. So people may know 13 Loon because they're 13 Loon.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they have a lot of makeup. Actually,
Yeah.
at their store, there's different makeup brands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 13 Loon has a store here in LA on Larchmont Boulevard. And so they had a pop up with the 4 Moon Spa. And one of the things they were doing at the pop up that I really specifically went for was these aura readings, like a photo of your aura.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. It was amazing. I
Mm.
really, really enjoyed that. And then, she was telling me different things about like my aura. She's like, oh, you're super psychic and highly intuitive, and you need to stop ignoring it. And I'm
Ooh.
like, ma'am, first of all, get out of my business. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I don't know you. You know what I'm
She
saying?
done told your business on the
She
streets.
was amazing. Dang, I wish I had her name right now. I left her thing upstairs. But no, she was good. And then I left there, went to meet up with a friend to
Uh-huh.
have some lunch. And I thought I was gonna meet up with another friend.
Yeah.
But my body was like, no, girl, you need to just get vertical. You know what I'm saying? I mean, get horizontal, lay down.
Yeah,
lay
lay down. Lay
down.
down. Lay it down.
And I did, and I slept for like 4 or 5 hours. It was crazy.
Oh. Oh,
It
that
was
was that good
wild.
sleep. That
It
was that
was.
good sleep.
I'm clear that I was not on this planet. That's all I
And
want to
as
say.
you should have been gone. That's what I'm
I
trying to
was
say. You
somewhere
needed
else.
to go somewhere else and be somewhere else.
The kind of
And that's
sleep where you like, have you ever drove home on autopilot?
yes. And
You like
arrived
woke
and
up when
didn't
you
know how
got
you got
home,
there.
like, I don't even remember the stoplights, child. I don't even
Listen,
remember, like,
and that's dangerous. And that's how you know that you're not present anymore. That something is up on your in your system, in your spirit that you got to go ahead and handle. Because anytime you can zone out and get your whole way home on the road with stoplights and other people, cars, and you don't remember, whole nother situation happening
exactly.
here.
This is a good moment to bring up our guest today, Chantel Willis. Okay, so somebody on YouTube said, I never heard of aura readings before. Did you learn anything you didn't know? So here's what I'll tell people, because I'm super woo-woo, and for those who don't know what that means, that's like a blanket term for like all types of like spirituality and like things that are related to like mysticism, and people who are like super woo-woo are typically into a plethora of ways of being, different ways of being, okay, because it falls into different categories. And what I feel like is there needs to be a bridge, because sometimes people feel like things are too woo-woo, so they don't identify with it or they don't trust it. But anyway, that's another story about being woo-woo. I am into all the things, so I would give you the advice that a reading should not actually, if you ever get some type of psychic reading, any reading at all, psychic reading, tarot reading, things like that, when you are hearing it, it should feel familiar. So even if you didn't consciously know whatever the person's telling you, that you should feel in your body like, okay, yeah, actually, yeah, you should feel that. When you don't feel that, be aware. Like if you feel like somebody's telling you they're predicting your future, they're telling something completely new or whatever. Like, because sometimes like they may be telling you something that is new and maybe futuristic, but you still should feel a alignment with it when they're telling you, right? And if you don't, it's okay to say, I don't align with that, or just be like, interesting. Like I don't know. Like maybe I don't know. But like a lot, so there's threads. Because the person asked me, did I learn something I didn't know? What I didn't know is maybe my chakras were being aligned. So I think she had this tool. So she had this little box, and then what you do is you put your hand on it, and then I'm guessing it's reading like, using like electromagnetic waves to like read you and read like your like energy and your vibe, for lack of a better way to put it. And then it creates the picture. So she takes a picture of you and it creates the picture. And the end of it, I should have brought it downstairs. In the picture is like it shows the colors all around you. And then it lays into like which colors for what chakra. I didn't know that my chakras were all open and rolling like they needed to, which was great to know. My heart being open is a thing that I have been working on, because as a woman, as a Black woman, as a single mother, like you just start. I mean, like you just be moving, and the first thing you're gonna close or protect is that heart, those feelings, that emotional center, to just be like, because it's a matter of like survival, to just be like, I can't be hurt, So to know that my heart was open was new. I didn't know that. I felt it. Let me say, when I say I didn't know, meaning like it was like a conscious thing, but I felt it because I was just in such a. Sometimes when you're in a heavy energy, you get more authentic, and you just kind of like, I was not gonna let it crush me, I wasn't gonna let it. I wasn't gonna not address it, so I cried a lot on like Friday. And I think that was a part of like really just that heart opening piece. Child, I cried at the spa because this lady I met, at the pop up, the lady I met that was the owner of the spa. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. And we just had this conversation. She told me her story, and I was like, it was meant for me to tell for you to tell me your story today. It's a similar story to mine. It was just like, ugh. So Four Moon Spa, they're down near San Diego. So if you out here, if you ever out that way, check them out. I'm going down there because she was describing the way they have the land built out. Like they built the land out in a grid. Forget about it. Anyway, I can geek out of this stuff. So I'm gonna bring our guest up because she's here. Okay. But I'm like, when she told me that, I'm like, well, I have to step on that property. Like I have to feel whatever that feels like because I need to know. Coming up, we have Chantel Willis. She's the founder and space holder of Empower Her to Heal, a Detroit-based wellness and healing community rooted in self-love, emotional well-being, and intentional rest through sound healing, breathwork, and guided reflection and community centering. So let's talk to Chantel. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Rise and shine.
Yes, I'm great. How are you?
I'm well.
Good.
So talk to us about Empower Her to Heal and take us back a step, because typically when we go in this direction, there's a story. There's a story. And so I'm curious about what the story is.
Yeah. So I was going through a divorce, and my spirit was just, I felt like it was broken. And so I was just trying to heal and trying to process and doing all the things. And so I started attending sound bath sessions, and it allowed me to go deeper. It taught me how to meditate. It taught me how to be present. It did some incredible things. And then that had me have like a whole spiritual awakening because I come from a very religious background. So it was like this whole new world opened up to me. And so I started looking at more like holistic and spiritual practices. And it really changed my life in like the most beautiful, unexpected way. And at that time, I really realized how disconnected I was from myself and how I didn't really know myself anymore. And so I was learning myself. And I said, I feel like it's so many of us that kind of get lost in the day to day of survival and relationships and losing our identity and figuring out who we are again and what we love and our passions and our excitement and all that type of stuff. So I said, I really want to help other women just fall back in love with themselves and realize who they are and pursue their passions and really heal and come home to themselves. So that was where Empower Her to Heal came from. And so I do sound bath meditations and healing circles and events and all those great things.
Yeah, I love that. Because I don't know if you know or if you knew this before you came, but I'm also a certified breathwork practitioner and a sound healer. And we're doing more of these things. Also, I got like Reiki 1 and 2, and I'm deciding whether or not I'm gonna get my Reiki master. I don't know. But I hear the Reiki master process is like a whole life shift. So I might do it. But what have you found? So what I want to talk about too is because you said you came from a very religious background. I also grew up holiness, Pentecostal, step on the crab, break your mama's back, speaking in tongues, run around the church, like that kind of stuff. Like I grew up that way. And I think what's interesting about it is people when they anchor it in like Christianity, they just don't see how actual spiritual it is.
Yeah.
And then they separate the worlds of being like, well, religion, I can only think about Christ in this way or God in this way. And then they separate themselves from like healing spaces. Mm-hmm. There's also some like co-opting from, I think people see the wellness industry as co-opting these ancestral practices and Eastern medicine practices from the places that they're native to and not referencing them. So I think that's also part of that when
Mhm.
people get a little bit more political about their healing. But at the base level, what I find with trying to work, especially with Black and brown folks, is just helping them pull apart religion, healing, spirituality, who they are in it, where they sit in it. So I'm curious as to now it's interesting because you're in Detroit, and Detroit heavily is Christian. So like people in Detroit are heavily Christian, even though there's like a whole little area, that's like mostly Muslim or yeah, there's like a whole area of people who are mostly Muslim or Southeast Asian that people somehow forget about. But anyway, um, so I'm curious as to like how you seen your audience adapt to this. Especially people don't know about it or they like a reading, psychic, it's the devil, oh, it's a demon, oh, you know what I mean? So tell me a little bit about how you're moving in that room.
Yeah, so I would say it's been very different. It's a lot of educating for people who are open. And one thing, that's what I'm going with. I'm not trying to change anybody's views. I feel like the people who connect with me are meant to connect with me and they're already open. So they're already kind of curious and then therefore they receive the information. Um, and surprisingly, it's been a community here of us who I feel like are going along this same kind of path and journey experience. Um, and it's really beautiful to see because I now realize like how much of a box we have put ourselves in and we have put God in and we have put like what healing is supposed to look
Mm-hmm.
like in. And one of the biggest, I would say, realizations for me is like, I feel with Christianity, I was looking outside
Mm.
for healing and love and joy and all these things when it was like, wow, it was in me the whole time. And that's why I really think that's when we rediscover our power is realizing that it's in us, like it's within. You go within and you don't have to look outside for absolutely anything.
Now that was a good one. That was a good one. Because I think, and I'm only thank you so much for asking the question because I think that battle is what a lot of people are dealing with, right? Like, is this in alignment with the God I was told God is, right? Because some of it is not even the God that I know for myself, right? Some of it is this is the way that I
Mm.
was taught God is, right? And so now I'm battling with that. And then I'm wondering, is that why we're not finding that healing, right? So we're like we keep searching for it. Like, I just want to be healed. I want to, be better. But it's just like we're not willing to let go of
Yeah.
who we have been told God is, not necessarily who you have learned
Yeah.
God to be. Have you
Mhm.
seen that? I wonder.
For sure. That's really exactly what it is because typically what I've experienced and seen Christianity being so fear-based, we've been afraid to question. We've been afraid to look, and see and explore. And it's like this has been so liberating because God is everything and in everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like opening myself up to explore those other things. This is the freest, and I've been in church my whole life. My whole life, okay? For me to now say at this age, this is the freest I've been when I've been in church for Bible study, prayer sessions, Sunday evening sessions. Like that's crazy. But it's because like I actually have an experience. I actually have a real relationship with myself, knowing, exploring my purpose and all these other things and learning about my gifts and, just taking off the what was, put on me to just automatically believe and um just releasing the fear. Like fear can really hold you back in so many different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, thank you so much for saying that. There's a couple things. It's so funny. I love that you said the part about without and within, because that's the journey that I've been on as well. Like I got to a point in my spiritual journey where I went, what is the truth? You know, like I'm tired of all this. You know what I'm saying? The Christians telling me this, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. I'm tired of all this. What is the truth? So I went on this like research spree of sorts. And this was before all the technology hit. So this is around like 20, maybe 20, actually maybe like 2008, 2000, actually before that, maybe like 2006. And so I'm like, wait, what is it? What is it? Okay. So I went to the library, you know, I got all these books and I got a VHS, you know what I'm saying? I went home and I put in there and there was these people like looking for the birthplace of Jesus and like, you know, and it was just all these things. And I'm like, what is the truth? So I started studying Judaism, Muslim beliefs, Lord have mercy, Buddhism, Christianity. I started looking at like all these religions. Let me just study them, studying what's the difference between them. Like, and I went on this like hardcore, like I gotta find the truth. What I found is that the truth of the matter is whatever you're looking for, you will find something to complement it. So if you're looking for something that says like this is the way, you're gonna find a bunch of text, historical knowledge, all that. They will say that yes, that is the way. So what I landed on is it really is about your belief and that alignment in your life and how you want to operate. When it came to the idea of Christianity, what I realized is that as an African centered woman and like with African descent, I just didn't feel like I could spend my life trying to be like a Jewish man. Right. So it's like they didn't, at some point I disconnected from that idea. And not that meant I didn't believe. And I think that's the difference. It's like my belief in Jesus is not in question for me. Like, do I believe Jesus lived, walked, all that? I do. Do I believe that most people had these powers and lived, walked, and all that? I do. Do I believe that like at the point of there's a lie. I ain't gonna go deep. I'll just say that like, do I believe? Yes, I believe. I believe in God. What I think is that people give this idea of the devil too much credit for creation. Now, what I mean by that is like creation against whatever God gave. So, for example, the idea that anything outside of like Christianity is the devil is such a false reality, because if God created it all, then like you got to stop and ask your question about your ability to fathom God, right? Like that, like our human brains cannot possibly process the bigness of God in that broad reality of God. We're trying our hardest. Therefore, whatever you believe, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You know, don't hurt nobody. Live your life. Take care of your people. Do what you got to do. That is, you know what I mean? Like, do that. And what it means for you to heal and get free may be outside of the church system. Because I think there's belief in God, there's belief. But like church system and religion, those could be different things. And it's a yes and, because you might go, you might have that fellowship and alignment with your church and all the things. And that's wonderful. And you might have some, like any group that gathers, you might have some toxicity. You might have some words that fly. You might have some empathy that goes, some lack of empathy that creates other emotions in you. It is a group of humans gathering to attempt to be better people. In any group of that, from civil rights movements to I'm speaking of churches, to community groups, there's always hiccups, challenges, communication challenges, lack of empathy. But then there's also progress and love and support. And so it's like, don't demonize nobody else. Do you? I saw a post where somebody said something like Christian love is the craziest kind of hate. Where it's like this idea that, you know, that I love you so much, I'm gonna chastise you for doing everything that I'm not, you know, not like me, not even like Jesus, which is kind of crazy. But I'll say ultimately belief systems, how you believe. I was reading this book. This is my last note on this. I was reading this book called Who Needs God Anyway? And it was written by a rabbi. And he said, when you question what people believe, you question their ability to believe. And that is it shakes the foundation. So if, for example, if people are super Christian, then believe that God is okay with homosexuality, then they're like, well, what else am I missing? It shakes the foundation. It's like, God
Yeah.
can't be okay with that because that's what I was taught and that's what it is. And that, that person was ever, if they rock that, it takes you to a different level of transformation and process that you have to have. And people oftentimes aren't ready for that.
Yeah. And I found that that's spot on and very true, because honestly, it was scary in the beginning, that process of unlearning, because when you've been indoctrinated your whole life and something new comes in, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. So I feel like I've been on this path, and it's been slow and steady of just learning new things and evolving around, different thought patterns. But when you mentioned books, um, one that really changed my life was, have you read The Seat of the Soul?
I haven't, but I know she's like, I know the book.
Yeah, The Seat of the Soul really changed my life. And The Power of Now,
Yeah.
by Eric Tolle.
Mm.
I think I butchered his name, but
No, you got it right.
just
Eckhart told me.
Eckhart. Yes, thank you. Just those different things just really gave a different perspective. And as you said, like, it's not to force anything upon anybody. I feel like your path is your path, your journey is your journey, mine is mine. And but I feel like once you know and you see it, it's no going back. Like, it's
Right,
just
right, right, right.
it's no going back. Like, I could never deny the new knowledge that I'm extremely grateful for. But I really love it's the healing in community. And rather
Mm.
that be in a church or in a social group or social setting, I just love really getting together with women of color and us just kind of putting down the mask and the trauma. Like, we can come from so much trauma and baggage that's not even our own. And like,
Right.
just being able to unpack that and talk through it and move through it and breathe through it. Like, it's just so freeing. And the more free you become and the more authentic you become for yourself, it's like so many other doors open because your people can find you, and then you can fulfill your own purpose, and it just all lines up.
I think what I've been loving to, because I just been kind of sitting back listening, and what I've been enjoying is this conversation around the knowing of yourself and for yourself, right? And I think that no matter where we look at it, no matter how we do this, it's going to take, and I think that's what is so amazing about what you're doing, is creating space for people to take a moment to know whatever it is that you want to know for yourself. And
Right.
so oftentimes as we have the conversation about God and the Bible and religion and, healing and all of that stuff, a lot of times people are basing what they believe on what somebody taught them and not necessarily what they have learned or know for themselves. For
Yeah.
instance, as we have conversations about God, you know what I mean? Like, have you read the Bible for yourself? Like literally for yourself, like not because it was Bible study, not because pastor gave you a scripture, not because you heard a song and a scripture came about, none of that. Have you opened the book and read it and got an understanding and a knowing of God, of Jesus, of all of this for yourself in who you are? The same can go for, and then being unafraid to, and I was born, I'm a Christian, right? And I was taught that the like one Bible was the Bible. Like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like, have you read the Quran?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you, right? And so I think it's also, have you done a sound bath? Have you learned what it is? And so I think part of it is being open to the fact that you can know and learn these things for yourself, for
Yeah.
you. and you can decide within you if this is a yay or nay, right? Like this is this for me?
Mhm.
May or may not be, right? But I can honestly say, I tried it. It's not for me. It may be for you, and I'm okay with it because both of them can exist. Like, it's okay.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not for me. I'm cool with it, but you go
Mhm.
ahead with your bad self, and I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do my thing. But I think it's some of that. I think it's just the being aware that you can learn and know God and know all of these other things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, like, for you in your life. And guess what? Next year you might have to start all over because you have grown into a new you. Right? Like, so
Mhm.
you have grown, and so you might have to reread that scripture, or you may
Right.
need to retake that Reiki class, or you might
Mhm.
need to add yoga, or you might need to put some breath work in it, or
Yeah.
like, that's what I think. But
I
that's just
love that. No, I think that's so
Um,
good. Know for yourself. And speaking of that, empowerhertoheal.org. So make sure you're checking out a pathway to knowing for yourself, to coming home to yourself, to getting to understand how you want to be. And what does it mean? How, not how are you doing, but how are you being?
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Chantel. We really appreciate you. This was great. You
Thank
got anything coming up you want to announce?
Every Monday I host sound bath sessions in Detroit at 313 Cinnamon Rolls. The address is 119 Garfield Street, Detroit. I have a lot of different events coming up, so be sure to check out our social media pages. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Empower Her to Heal also.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank
Have a
you,
great
All right.
one.
beautiful. Have
You
a
too.
good
Yeah.
day.
You too.
I love it. You know what I'm
I know
saying?
you.
You already know I am here to have all these conversations about belief systems and how we get free and just how we just can just be our most truest selves in this lifetime.
Mhm.
It's so worth it for your entire lineage. That's the other thing, it's freeing for your lineage, for people to see you being in yourself, being free, feeling great,
Mhm.
and just I don't know, just pushing forward on like how else you can be. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's it
and
doing?
and I think on me too. I think that it also letting people know that it's okay that you don't know. It's okay that you've lived this, because I don't even know how old I'll be this year, 47 or 48, one of them 40s, right? And so one of the things is I had to learn that I had to be okay with I don't necessarily know who I am in this moment, right? I'm
Mm,
unlearning, things from the past. I'm unlearning things that no longer serve me. I'm unlearning things that were detrimental to me. And now when you unlearn something, you have to relearn something else. And that takes time. And giving yourself space and grace, right? As you start to ask yourself, like, do I really believe that? Like, or was that something that I was told? Um, do I really believe that, or is that something that I was using to survive, right? Do I really want to try this, or am I afraid because it might go against what I had known before, right? And so I think too, part of it is as you enter into this new chapter of yourself, giving yourself space to be like, I'm just open to learning. Like, I'm going to try things, and it does not mean that I don't believe in God or God is gonna forsake me, or you know what I mean? Like, because that's how it gets in your head. Like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna do this,
oh,
and now I'm going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Now God is gonna leave me right now, right? And I'm learning because I had to read the Bible for myself. I'm learning that He never will, that He never did. He has no plans on it, right? And so the only way God leaves you is if you leave Him. He never leaves you. He's still hanging around having a good time. You're the one that left. So it's just like, I think it's okay, like, giving yourself, like, it's okay to learn about other religions. It's okay to learn about other healing practices. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to want to do them. But it's okay to learn about them. They exist. Okay. But
the level of it's okay. I just want to like double tap on that for a second, because we're talking about safety, right? Like, and I think that like that, and I mean, like, we could talk about this in business, because like the level of it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Hello, it's okay. Hey, look at me. It's okay. You know what I mean? Not saying that even, so like that's how you have to get.
no, for real.
That's how you have to get with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in the mirror like, hey, you, look at me. It's okay. And sometimes you gotta really just get that into your head, and like, it's okay. And if you could take a moment to think about, like, oftentimes I'm riding down the street here, and I'll go, it's crazy that I live in LA. It's crazy that I was able to move to California. There's nothing about my story that, well, like, that you would think, at least, that would be able to say that I would be this person, in a sense, generally speaking, right? Like, I just was, you know, and then I just had to take that moment and be like, thank you, God. Like, thank you, ancestors, universe, for just like me being able to live the life that I can live. I saw this post from Candace. Shout out to Candace. Candace Denise, across all platforms. She's amazing. You introduced me to her, and she's a gem for sure. She had this post one time where she said, the older you get, the more you just randomly be thanking God. Randomly. You just getting your thank you, God. Just you just randomly become way more grateful over time. You could be doing whatever. You just brushing your teeth. You just thank you, God. I just
listen. The way I be thanking God, I be like, thank you, God, for water and toilet paper, God. Thank you so much for, like, it's just because you got into an age where like, it's like, like, listen, none of this could have been right.
Okay.
None of this.
Seriously. And you have to take that moment to be like, oh gosh, thank you. Yeah. And I think gratitude, having a practice of gratitude every day. I want to empower and encourage people to do this. So when you're in a place where you're feeling down, you're feeling overwhelmed, pull out a sheet of paper, write down 10 things you're grateful for. Immediately your mood changes. Another thing is just start thanking random people for things they've done for you over the course of your life. Oh my gosh.
So amazing.
It changes your whole energy. Everything about your energy will just shift when you start doing that.
It will. You know what I do? Like, I have a jar, and so whenever I do something that, like, I accomplish a goal, or like, I'll write it on a Post-it note and I'll drop it in the jar. Like, you know what I mean? And so sometimes, even if I can't take a moment to read what it says, but just seeing, like, picking up the jar and seeing, like, you did do some things, like, you did accomplish some things, like, it's okay in this moment. That's another great way. And another thing I'll do is, whenever I get in, and I'm gonna put it out there, whenever I feel the spirit of envy come upon me, right? Because the spirit of envy, right? I didn't say jealousy, because I believe jealousy and envy are two different things. But when I feel the spirit of envy come upon me, then that means that I have to spend the next 30 minutes congratulating everybody that I see up and down my feed. Like, so it's just like, I'll just go to social media, I'll go to Facebook, because oftentimes that's where it is. That's where that spirit of envy will hit you. You know what I mean? When you are looking on social media or on Facebook, and all of a sudden you see somebody who is doing something that you wanted to try to, haven't done yet. And then all of a sudden that spirit hits you. And so then I will immediately begin, congratulations so much on this. This is amazing. And everybody, for 30 minutes, no matter who I see, I don't care what you did. Okay? You got dressed this morning. You're pretty, baby. You're pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go up and down that feed, because You have to get like, I'm just like, I'm not that person. Like, I'm not. Like, that was a moment where I'm like, oh, but you can congratulate people and keep going. Like, it's so freeing to encourage somebody and congratulate somebody. So those are the two wild things that I do to get myself regulated. Because, baby, you talk about nervous system regulation.
And I think social media is one of the biggest pieces that I wonder why somebody hasn't started like a specific social media therapy process. I'm like, I feel like that would be such a good money maker, such a good niche to start just a therapy to practice centered around social media management. I feel like because that like just that's all they focus on. Like, how do you watch other people live all these lives and then somehow continue to live yours?
Let me try. I was at an event this weekend. Legacy in Motion had an event where they were talking about generational wealth here in Baltimore. It was held at Coppin State University. It was amazing. And somebody got up on the stage and he was talking about social media. And he said media stands for the most effective distraction in America. And I was
I love that.
I said, now ain't that the truth? Right? It is so.
Wait, say it again.
The most effective distraction in America, social media, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, that is the absolute truth, and how it does distract you, and then how it retrains your mind. On me, I'm being honest, like, how everybody's like, I got ADHD, I have AD, like I can't focus. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I believe for me and myself personally, it's because of social media. Because I'm so used to quick bursts of information, of videos, of like, and it's just so happening so fast. Now I can't calm myself down enough to read a book.
And oh my God, can we talk about that? And I feel like, why isn't anybody, I don't hear people talking about this part, right? No, there have been like a way, like, don't as many people read, But I think that like on Sirius XM Urban View, where I am, for my show on Sundays, like the rest of the hosts, I think are fairly intellectual. I'm intellectual too, so I don't mean that they're that without me. And they talk about reading, right? And sometimes I'm thinking to myself, who's reading a full book these days? And that's not to say that people aren't doing it. But because I'm having the same experience, if you and I are having that experience, and people listening to us right now are absolutely having that experience where you sit down to open up a book and you might get through about 2-3 lines before you like, what is this about?
I can't call me. Like, and I am an avid reader. Like, I love reading. I love books. I have hundreds of books. Like, I buy books. Like, first of all, my degree is in history. Okay. My first, like, all I did was read, right? Like, it was just reading and writing. And now, and it's so frustrating because I want to read a book. Like, I want to read an entire book. But my mind, I'm so used to that I cannot. It's like something happens and my mind goes off to the left.
It does. It's crazy. I think it needs to be studied and really, because how do we move it back? And then imagine, because then you got to work it like a muscle. Britain just announced that they are going to ban social media for children under 16. So the UK government announced a sweeping restriction on social media access for minors, reigniting global debates about youth mental health, technology, and online safety. If you and I at this big age are feeling like we can't sit long enough to read a book, and I can't even imagine native like users, people who just grew up with social media being a thing in their life, period. I can't imagine how they will do it. Like, will they be able to sit down and read? And then we're still measuring them by the ability to read. Well, I don't know how they'll be.
Here in Baltimore City, they did a ban on cell phones in schools during the school day. Some schools are doing an amazing job of doing it. And I taught in one of those schools over the spring, and they literally take the students' phones when they walk in the building. So when they walk in the building, they take the students' phones, they lock them up, and all day long, the students have no phones. What I will find is there is a definite and distinctive difference between students who do not have a phone in their hand when you are teaching them and ones who have access to it, during the school day. Like those students were like, they were looking at you like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we reading? Are we discussing? Like they were present in your classroom because it was nothing else, right? To like distract them away from now they had other kids in there, of course, but I will say that I could tell the difference in my students who did not have access to their cell phones during the school day, because they were present. They were, like they were very here with me. Like if we were reading, they were reading. If we were discussing, they were discussing, because it was nothing else. Like they couldn't pick up a phone and scroll. So I will say, as an educator, that was definitely a difference I saw.
Yeah. So Skylar School, the elementary school that she was at, you leave your phone in like your backpack. But then for the middle school that she's going to, they do this. They get with the pouches.
Yes.
So like you put your phone in the pouch, you lock it up, and then when you leave, you unlock it.
Yeah.
When you like getting on the bus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing it out here too at different schools. I think it's so true because there's also the need. What's happening is that they're communicating with each other through this like cloud type of thing, and then you can't catch it.
No.
Right. So like if they are actively in class, it like imagine passing notes on acid. You know what I mean? Like passing notes to the 10th extreme, like where we had to like sit right. You know what I mean? Like, let me hand it to you right quick. Let me throw it on your desk. Hey, that kind of thing. They are just boop, boop, boop. And then now the whole school could know something.
Oh, yes.
The whole group chat could know something.
And it knows fast.
Like, fast.
Like, it happens quick, the way that these students will use that phone. And all of a sudden, you got something else going on in the school, and nobody's aware of it because we not on a group chat. So like I'm being like so it's like
right.
All of a sudden,
you're right.
It's like you like, what happened? Like what was good? What was going on? And it has passed around the entire school in a matter of a minute. Like, and that's what 60 seconds, the entire school has gotten access to a video, a text message, a picture, a call to action, something like that. And it doesn't all have to be bad, right? And we're not saying that everything is negative, right? But it's just like it happens so quickly that like something can escalate before you know it, and you have no way to get a handle on it before. And I will say, as an educator, I enjoyed the fact that my young people I knew that they were coming in ready, like they were coming in, and it did require me to be a better educator. I'm being honest with you. Like you can't play around with it. Like, because
now you can't even rely on it.
No, like they like, you got something? I mean, what we doing? And so it really made me feel that hour and 30 minutes had, from the moment they walked in that door to the time that bell rang, you had to have you had to go with it, or them babies was looking at you like, play with us if you want to. You better teach us something.
Right. Right. And that's how things used to be. Right. So I'm not educated anymore, but and I'm actually so glad I didn't have to do it during this time.
Really?
OMG, girl. This time with all this social media stuff, really? I'm so glad that I'm not. But
you know what? It is so fun. Like, it is. Like, I enjoy, because I think if you, and that's the thing, like my whole goal after all of this is for me to be a professor. Like, you can't, it's
nothing. You're working on that, huh?
Yes. So it's just like, it's nothing that would make my whole soul smile more is to be a full-time professor.
What does it take to be a professor? So, because you got to have your master's, right?
Yeah, so it depends on where you want to teach, and that's another thing. So one of the things that only I'm a pull a card on this one. So one of the things, depending on which level of higher education you want to be in, a master's degree is the minimum, and so most of the time that is for associate's degrees. So our community colleges, you would need a master's degree. For universities, a lot of times, depending on their accreditation, they will require you to have a PhD. They will ask for a
Oh,
doctorate.
really?
Yes. And it depends on what type of accreditation they have, and what they put in their accreditation. So some of the accrediting bodies require educators to have a PhD. Most of the time, they want you to be a level above where your students are, where
Right,
that
right, right.
degree is, right? And so that's another thing. If you have a but, if there are exceptions. So like if you have computer science used to be one of them. You know what I mean? Nursing might be one of them. Like these are degrees that require licensure or
Mm.
like educational prowess. You know what I mean? Like other things. And you don't necessarily have to have the degree. You have to have the experience and or the license, right? So
Mm.
that's one of the things. But one of the challenges that I have and I've always had is, especially in business, as it relates to business educators, and by all means, I'm not saying this is everybody, and so please, if I offend you, it is not on purpose, but I really believe for business educators, I have a challenge with business teachers who are teaching business who have never run one.
Oh my God,
And
girl,
so
let me tell you
I think
something.
that is one of the most horrific things that
Egregious,
we're
egregious.
seeing. Yes.
The let me look. You want to get in? Let's get into it. People working at the SBDC at the like small business development centers who have never run a business. Okay, the people who are on the mentors list. Don't get me wrong. You can learn a lot from executives, but they need to acknowledge I have never run a business. There is a different kind of thing. So it's interesting you said this because we talked about this when I talked about like getting my MBA. I have been going back and forth. Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to go back? I don't know that I'm this person that enjoys school if it's not a really like practical for me. Like I enjoy school that I'm using immediately.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy school that I'm going to use later.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy like learning algebra today, but I'm never going to use it until like 10 years from now if I somehow end up in some science something. Like I don't enjoy that. I enjoy practical school. Okay, you taught me how to write a certain way, and then I literally activated it in my life. And I really actually, having said that, I think there's more people like that than we actually acknowledge, and we pushed our children into this mode of like, you learn this now, it'll work later. Learn this now, it'll work later. Learn this now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it being active in your life. Learn it now, you'll learn it later. And I think there's a huge disconnect in education in that way. But anyway, going back to school to get my MBA and then being taught by people who've never run a business would supremely annoy me. Like I would be sitting there like, then my nervous system is dysregulated because then I want to raise my hand and be like, yeah, I see what you're saying. But if these things exist, that's not going to be a thing. Like if these things ain't there, then this ain't going to be. Yeah. So I do go back and forth because I would also love to, at some point, be a professor and maybe teach again at the adult level. Because I was at K through 12, I did 7 years. So I would love to be back there. But when it comes to like, oh, you need to get a master's to do it, I really, my spirit does not even feel drawn to being like, let me go back and take my master, take some classes to get my MBA. I just don't even.
I mean, it's definitely, and we talked about it. It's definitely a challenge, getting an MBA, after having the lived experience of being a founder, an owner, and like going through the process, and especially if you've done it for an extended period of time, right? So it's like, I've been a founder and an owner for 13 years now, so it's certain things that I've been able to learn in this, like going through the process of because nobody taught me how to be a business owner. And most business owner, nobody teaches you how to do it. And even if you do have a master's degree, you have the theory of doing it. You don't have the practice of doing it.
That's
and
right.
The theory and the practice are two very different things. Sometimes they are not in alignment and they are actually contradictory. I'm just letting you know. Sometimes it's not going to work the way that they say you done saved and you done got this and now you can do this. That's not how it necessarily works. And so it has been hard for me in my MBA program because you do have that lived experience. So when somebody says something that's theoretical or this is how it should work or how it does, when you sit there and be like, but that's not how it actually works. Like, I'm just letting you know it don't work like that, right? And then to know that a lot of and not all of them, right? Some business schools are very clear and they hire people who have both the education, the credential, and they have experience in it. Some of them are very good with that. And some of them have people who have just been teaching for years and somebody and you can get in. And that's the thing too. And so that's my thing. I know that it is just difficult. And business faculty don't leave like that. I'm just being honest.
Right. That's the other piece.
Business faculty, they're gonna have to be 827 before they go ahead on and retire.
I mean, you know what? Does any faculty leave? One of the things that I think that people are gonna have to do on the college level, though, is like to settle into the reality that college recruiting, college admissions is gonna be looking different. I'm waiting for the college that does DJ sets as their recruiting. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for the college that says like, oh yeah, like we gonna figure out how we tap into Gen Z or how we tap into these younger folks.
But you know what though? I really do think that, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think HBCUs are killing it right now with that. Like, I think like HBCUs are really killing it with their with their alignment or their realization that this generation is a different generation. They're not coming in the same way. They don't want the same things. They come in with a different level of lived experience. And this generation knows, that I don't necessarily need a degree to be a millionaire. I don't need a degree. So if I'm here, I want to be here, right? Like, I'm choosing here. Right. In this moment. This isn't a requirement for me. And I think I think HBCUs are doing an amazing job of highlighting that. Did you see that Coppin State graduate who did a rap over, I forget what she did a rap, let me try to tell you something. That woman laid it down. That young lady gave me so much fire and desire in my spirit. Okay? I said, you better tell them, boo. Like, because it's like this, for real. Like, she was tooting her horn. Like, she was like, no. Like, I was here. I did this. I'm and I love it. I'm like, girl, you better go out here and just be fabulous. It was so good to me.
I love that. And to your point around like HBCUs, so while a lot of colleges are facing a drop in enrollment, HBCUs are still trending upward in enrollment. And it's my hope that that this means that the funding will come to keep these HBCUs thriving. Like,
I don't know about the funding. I'm just hopeful that our presence and us bringing in the dollars in regard to our tuition payments, as well as us advocating as alumni of HBCUs, will continue to, push us to, support our HBCUs, these anchor institutions, even more so that they can thrive. And I know, throughout the years, like, it has been Black people supporting HBCUs and, really doing your giving, and you're sending your students, and HBCUs are not a second choice. Like, now it's like, it is the choice.
That's it.
It is the choice. Like, it's not.
And there's something, Zena, good morning. I see you. I'm going to bring you up in a second. I think that we what's interesting about the experience of going to HBCU and then after you leave that I don't think we talk enough about, right?
Mhm.
So while you're there, you have your college student experience, highs, lows, whatever the case is, you are, friends, all that, building strong bonds, connections, things that are, while I was there, I don't know that I really got an understanding of the value until I left. And then I was like, oh, so Sterling A. Brown was the commencement speaker for North Carolina A&T when my oldest graduated in like 2021. It was 2020, 2021, something like that. And I remember that he was saying, y'all been listening to me for a while, you may have heard me say this before, but he was saying, like, if you went to HBCU, he was like, I didn't go to HBCU, but if you went to HBCU, there's something about going to school around majority Black folks that as a Black person, that is culturally centered inside of you, in a sense. He didn't use it as that words. Culturally centered inside of you. So when you go out into the world, this is what, like, your cultural center is having been in school with all Black folks. And I'm like, I never thought about the power of that, because my whole school, honestly, my school journey for the most part has been Blackity Black. Like majority Black elementary, majority Black middle, majority Black high school, majority Black college. It wasn't until taking grad classes that I had ever been in a classroom with people who were it was a classroom that wasn't majority Black. It wasn't until teaching AP computer science that I even was in front of a class of students that weren't mixed in that very diverse. Let me say that. So it was a little bit of culture shock for me being in the room with not everybody being mostly Black, but in my mind, you know what I mean? Like in my mind's eye, I'm holding an experience of what that means. So I'm measuring the norms up against it too. Like, y'all's gonna let the professor give us this deadline and nobody's gonna ask to push it. Like, that's what we're doing. Nobody's gonna object to that. We don't have a voice here. Like, what's our voice? Well, how are we activating that? Like, and so I think that it was so different. So then I think about people who grew up in majority non-Black spaces, and their experience is like way different from mine, even though like it could be parallel educationally, but way different in terms of like how we just see and understand our power, ability, voice, agency to be able to make shifts and change. Is just way different. And you see different, like, I've not met a Howard grad that wasn't so super social justice child. The Howard grads, you at the club, y'all be in the bathroom talking about politics. Like, you met them at the sink. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, y'all talking about politics and injustices. You know what I mean? It's like that. There's a brand to the different colleges too, in a positive sense, right? And so I think that there is this. People say like, oh, I've heard people say like, oh, if they know I went to HBCU, then somebody may like frown upon your education or whatever. I'm like, that's crazy to me, and that is not real. Like, I want to myth bust that. Listen. That like that now, if it's happening with a particular person you're running into, it's because they're terrible people. But that is not systematic in a sense, and especially like for me, like I went to A&T and I'm an engineer, so that is like prestigious in that sense because that's what A&T is known for. It's like, oh shoot, you went to a great engineering school. You know what I mean? So I think like it's interesting. We need to have these conversations about not frowning upon HBCUs around.
Yeah.
Not and somebody in the chat said not everyone has a positive HBCU experience. Let me be clear. Not everybody has a positive college experience. Don't blame that on HBCUs only. Like, not everybody has a positive college experience. Right?
I think it's all of that, right? I think it's all of that. And I think for students, because I did not graduate from an HBCU, I did go. Right. So I did go to an HBCU for my first 3 semesters. Right. And one of the things that I got was the expectation of brilliance. Having gone through both, like I was expected to be brilliant. Like that wasn't like my brilliance was never in question. Right. You know what I mean? Like you're here. you're brilliant. And so it was, and I couldn't put on, I didn't understand it at first, right? Like it was the expectation of, you are well read, you are, articulate. Like it wasn't like, I gotta help you be articulate, let me help. It was like, no, you're here, you are. The expectation is that you are brilliant, and that you have a voice, and that you have an opinion, and that you're going to read, and that you're well. Like it wasn't like, oh, you didn't, I'm so sorry. It was like, no, baby, come on. You gotta, come on, catch it up. You gotta. And it was, I will say, for me, that was a driver. That was a driver. Because we got
Yeah, I gotta let Zena up, and I think, speaking of expectations of brilliance and your voice, I think it's the perfect time to bring up Zena Island. Zena is the strategic PR leader and the architect of the Cultural Cohesion Framework, a proprietary approach to communications that transforms generational and cultural complexity into measurable organizational advantages. And so I'm excited to bring her to the stage, Zena Island from Zena PR. Hello.
Hello. This is an exciting conversation. I'm sorry I came on the tail end of it.
No, you're good. You're good. You said you want to chime in on
I
it?
just want to chime in on one thing. And let me say this. I went to a PWI, so I'm just the messenger, because I worked on a major campaign, and actually, unfortunately, it got shut down because of DEI. It was like, that's when everything was starting to happen, shutting down DEI. But there's also the predominantly Black institutions too, which are different from the historically Black colleges and institutions. So we were just starting to get that into the conversation. And Chicago State is one of them, just to give you an example. University of District, right here in DC, is another.
UDC.
UDC.
Like land grant organizations? Is that
Yeah, there you go. Land grant organization. So let's also keep that in mind. And two, which sometimes are a little bit less expensive than some of the HBCUs, because some of the HBCUs are, I don't know, predominantly all of them are private, but let's just keep that in mind as well, because I love this conversation you're having. I think even though I went to a PWI, I think now more and more of us need to look at our predominantly Black colleges and also HBCUs.
Yeah, a land grant university is a college or university that's been Lord have mercy, I can't even talk. Designated by a state legislature or Congress to receive benefits from the Moral Acts of 1862. And that focuses on agriculture and mechanical studies, an act donating public lands to the several states and territories, which may provide colleges the benefits of agriculture and mechanic arts. And so definitely, there's also one around equity and education. So I think this is interesting. So you're in the PR realm.
Yeah.
I would love to. You mentioned DEI. How is that shifting the landscape of PR right now as you see it?
So, as you know, DEI it's been hard. My business, I've been primarily based in DEI issues as a publicist since 2000, going all the way back to health disparities, which was declared by, I think it was the Clinton administration. I was in grad school at the time, at the University of Michigan School of Public Health. And I started off in that, coming here to DC. And from the health disparities and working on a lot of major PR campaigns targeting the Black community, mainly on their health, one of my most well-known, which is really just started taking off years later through the work of Tanya Lewis Lee, the wife of Spike Lee. I worked with her. I brought her into a campaign with Office of Minority Health, which I believe is being disbanded, through Health and HHS. And we went around the country talking about Black maternal health, Black infant mortality, trying to get the word out, letting people know that, you know, our Black mothers, our Black women are at risk right now. And it wasn't until, and Tanya, once, and I will say this, even though that opportunity started off on the Democratic side, George W. kept it going. And so did the Obama administration, but it kind of ended in the Obama administration, for at least for me, because there was a focus on the Affordable Care Act. And we're not going to get into all of that, but to get the word out there, to get more Black people to sign up for the Affordable Care Act. But Tanya kept it going. And so because of her efforts, that's when you started hearing more and more about Black maternity health rates. Black women are dying at 4 times the rate higher than any other race. White women of just to give childbirth. So these are the issues I've been in for a number of years. I met Omi in the entrepreneur tech scene 10 years ago. And we were trying to raise the visibility of Black-owned business, particularly Black females, Black women-owned businesses. During that time when we were still getting less than 0.1%, Omi has it, and now it didn't move that much. We did our best.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting too. We definitely did our best. No, it has not moved much in terms of like, and the crazy part is like, it feels like it's moving like a GPA. What we're talking about, or we're talking, right? Like, you know, like if your GPA goes down, you can do everything you possibly can, and the point behind the point move. You like, bruh, what is happening? You know, I feel like that's the same on the movement around economic prosperity as related to venture capital specifically, right? Like, it's like the needle is not moving in the way it needs to, and we know that with PR, so let's talk about what PR is. Mm-hmm. A little bit, right? Like, and I don't want to, because I think that like people sometimes don't know when to hire PR.
Right.
When to tap into PR. Most of what y'all are seeing, we all see these communications that people are doing. That's somebody's publicist strategically behind that. Sometimes it's terrible PR. You know what I mean? In the sense that like, or they're ignoring. Let me say this: they're ignoring the PR professional. We can talk because when we talk, I can name a couple of people. We talk about like Cheyenne Bryant. If she got a PR person, they're doing a terrible job. And we talk about even with Fawn Weaver, if she has a PR person, she can't be listening to him. They're doing a terrible job.
She's not listening to him.
Okay, she's not listening to him. So then we talk about you know, some of the challenges that happen with Target.
Yeah.
PR hiccup, right? Yeah. Like, and PR hiccups can be so huge and so impactful. When should a person consider hiring a PR person?
Well, you definitely don't want to wait until you get in trouble. Let me say that. You don't want to be in a crisis communication situation where people are jumping in trying to, save the person's reputation or a business. You try to hire a PR person beforehand, where they're the ones crafting your messaging, telling you, you know, what is appropriate to say, what is not appropriate to say, to keep you from, you know, going all out, just showing out on social media. Sometimes I have to cringe when I see some of these campaigns that are released, and that's not only on Black-owned businesses.
Yeah, right.
It's everywhere, you know, it's everywhere. You know, going back to the DEI issue, I've seen commercials that are released, Pepsi, for example, with one of the Kardashian sisters. That one, when I first saw that commercial, when she was marching, I was like, what? Who gave permission for this? So we have to call things out as they are. Now, I have been in situations where I have called things out. I have said something. And then, sometimes they don't listen to us. That does happen. You get ignored, you get gaslight, or we're going to do this anyway. And then boom, they come back like, I wish I had listened. And then guess we got to clean it up. The
Right.
the comms team, because they didn't listen. So when should you hire a PR person? You know, it really should happen at the beginning stages in your strategy. And I do a lot of strategic PR and also media pitching, as you know, Omi, for not only companies, individuals, leaders, thought leaders, creatives. And this is how I'm explaining how I sort of pivoted from DEI into this. Because of the fact I'm behind the scenes creating the strategy, helping you with the messaging, the positioning behind the scenes. And then we put you out there and you're trying to portray what we have created for you. Try this. And I always try to tell people, hey, I know I have clients that go off script all the time because they're dynamic. You know, Omi, you're dynamic. You know what to do. You've been in this media game for a while. There are others who are still learning the game and when and what not to say. So I help you with that. I help you get into the media, which that landscape is changing as well, as we all know. And so I'm the mastermind behind who that individual is, or large scale campaigns. I've worked on those. I just gave you a great example with the Office of Minority Health, A Healthy Baby Begins With You campaign with Tanya Lewis-Lee. I just gave you that. That was a national 12 to 15 city campaign that we launched to get the word out about Black maternal health. So now what I'm doing, still the same thing, but I'm focusing on leaders who are Gen Xer. I'm a Gen Xer, who are also baby boomers, because I see so many, and millennials who are trying to become a Gen X, which I haven't figured that one out yet. So y'all got to explain that one to me. I hear millennials saying, no, I'm a Gen Xer. I'm thinking to myself, okay, what year, where can that end? So anyway, I'm trying to help them get their thought leadership out. I've seen so many amazing, particularly Black men and women, and some not Black women and men, do some magnificent things out there and that no one pays attention to. And, you know, they sit on boards, they've had the titles, they've had prosperous businesses. They are attorneys. I know an attorney who makes, you know, she won't even take a client unless they bring, you know, is 10 million above. I didn't know, and she's Black. I didn't know those the type of attorneys are out there. So I'm helping to craft their messages. I'm helping them also. This is the generational part. I'm helping them also be able to talk to all generations. Sometimes we're going to end up with 5 generations in one room, and you want to be able to speak to every one of them. And sometimes as a Gen Xer or baby boomer, we don't. And I'm going to give you a great example. Somebody said, well, build it and the people will come. That's a statement that, you know, we grew up on, that I grew up on, and that is really no longer true. We didn't have social media as heavily as we have now today. Now we have AI. So that's not necessarily true anymore. There are other tactics that you must use in order to get your messaging out there, in order to get your image, in order to accomplish whatever communication or PR goals you have. And one last thing, I always describe PR as, you know, you're not paying for this. You know, that's why people hire me to help. What I mean by not paying for this, you're not paying the media. You have folks out there who actually pay the media or pay social influencers or, you know, or pay for to have a commercial. You have that section. And then you have people like me who are going to the media, or we're going to the influencers, and we're asking them to cover our clients or an issue. I hope that was a long way of answering your question.
No, it was good. It was good. One of the things you mentioned AI, so I want to bring it into the conversation, because are people sort of feeling like ChatGPT or Claude can be their PR person now? Like, you know, how do you move through that? So, like, there's a couple hits to the PR industry, which is the DEI thing, DEI like being buried. Then there is this AI, you know, rapid AI. So, like, what? And people are like, oh, I could just go to AI. I don't need to hire that. Excuse me. What are you seeing? How do you see the PR industry actually adapting AI or taking it on, or will it be a like them versus us kind of thing? Like, What do you see in trends in that way?
So I went to a conference back in Florida. My gosh, Reagan's Communications Conference, and when I went there, I noticed this industry, we're embracing AI. We actually are excited it is here. It's helping us to what is the word? We are using AI as a thinking partner, as a thought partner, to help us craft a messaging. We have the institutional knowledge. We know what to do. It's just that now things are moving faster. AI is helping us to be a little bit more efficient, faster. I can get to journalists a lot quicker than I could before, to be honest with you. I figured out how to use these tools. I've also got clients who have sent me AI. I call it AI slop. Sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but I've got clients, well, I have to put this through AI and tell me what you think. And I get it. I'm like, thank you so much. I completely ignore it because I know how to use the systems to figure out what is the best messaging and approach to go about this. So yes, there are people out there who are using their own AI. I get it. I understand it. You don't want to spend the dollars on the publicist or a PR agency, but in the long run, we have the relationships. AI does not have relationships. We have the network. AI doesn't have the network. And if anything, it might cause you to do even more work than necessary because you're not going to know all the different nuances when you're going through and reading through that long document you get when you put into ChatGPT, and you may not have the right prompt to put in there, and you might not even know what a prompt is. So it's so many different layers related to PR and AI that the average person may or may not understand.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. Listen, I like it because what I love what you said was using it as a thought partner, but that there's still a need to have the relationship. And I think as we think about AI and that sort of thing, even if we talk about like, is AI going to take over this particular field? It's not a takeover. It's a how can AI support? And so I was really glad that you said, hey, yes, you can, put it into chat. You can put it in a Claude or whatever you're using and get a full-fledged plan. However, you also need to have a human with the relationship to help you bring that plan to action. And I think that was like really a profound moment. But as we think about this, right, when should we be like, okay, PR, like, do we wait until we've done some things, or do we start early? Like, how do you even know, like, PR, I need
okay, I don't know what I'm gonna assume you're on the millennial side. I will say this about millennials: you all know what to do. You all know, you have the background. What I mean by this, you all know. Let me make sure my social media is straight. Let me make sure I got my LinkedIn, whatever social media platforms. You already have your thought leadership, your campaign, your businesses. You all are I'm gonna say savvy, a little bit more savvy than Gen Xers and baby boomers. We didn't grow up with all this stuff. We didn't. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I didn't start. When I came across the internet, I was in grad school, and I went to grad school a little bit later than some of my friends did. I didn't hit grad school till I was 28, so I was a few years out of school. So my point is, that's one of the reasons why I started talking about generational intelligence and cultural cohesion, because I get these clients who come to me who have done amazing things. And yes, I do think people need to know about you. But then on the back end, I just did a video about this. On the back end is raggedy. And what I mean by it's raggedy, I'm like, okay, do you have a LinkedIn? Yeah, I'll go to LinkedIn. When was the last time they posted? Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes a month ago. Or what did they post? Their description. They haven't updated their prescription, I cannot talk, description, and also the banner. These are the things that they don't know about. Even on Instagram, What do you need to put up? Have you thought about putting up? You're at this event speaking. Have you thought about doing a go live for a second or do a quick reel and then post it later? These are things that I help you think through. And let me say this. How did I learn this? Through millennials. You all have helped me. Transform our whole PR agency because I was willing to listen to you. And because of that, it's helping me to help others get their back end straight and then help them to have that voice online. Because I always start off saying, you don't have a lot out there online. You have very little. Well, I had an article back in 2016. No, that's 10 years ago. That's not going to work now today. So I'm here to help you build your online presence so that you can get these media interviews that you're looking for and requesting to have. And speaking. Let me add that one too. And I'm not to add another layer, because I do help people get non-paid and paid speaking engagements. And maybe the two of you can tell me this. I understand that the paid speaking opportunities have gone down tremendously.
I don't think I did. I mean, I have some things happening up that's going to be happening on the wellness practitioner side, but this is the first year. I don't think I spoke at all this year. So far, and that's different for me.
That is different for you because
they have. I feel like, and even the ones I have gotten is people asking me if I can appear for free, and that also is different for me. So I'm kind of like, I'm good. I think everything is just shifted. Budgets have shifted. The market has shifted. We are really in a transformational moment right now that is much different than where we've been in history. And all kinds of things are down. People not booking as many gigs. People not having as many conferences. People not having as many moments that they thought they needed. People starting to revisit. We heard this a lot toward the middle of 2025 where people are like, we need to visit whether or not what we have been doing is working at all. And then we need to come back to the table and figure out whether or not we're going to keep doing it. It's like industry seeing the writing on the wall for where things were going to go under Trump, have taken a huge, cautious kind of stance to push things through. So,
I think it's the cautiousness. I think it's more of that. I think it was the real, when they came after DEI and everything that surrounded it. So, all of the words, diversity, women, inclusion, black, all of that. So it was it really did cut out people's ability to even have a conference that was geared toward their consumer, right? Or the people who would support them. So I think it's that. I also think too that I'm finding a lot of people are creating their own opportunities now. Now is the realization that I don't need your stage to speak. I can speak whenever I feel like it. So I can pick up my phone and do a live. I can create my own podcast. I can create a YouTube channel. I have all of these different engines, ways for me to get my voice and my ideas and my businesses out there where I don't need to do it the traditional way. And so I think we're seeing a shift in that as well. And there is a shift of people who are getting off of social media, people who are doing great work, but they don't find the need to share it in that way. I'm still making, and I'm just giving an example, people are still making great money and they're never posting, they're not saying a word, they just out here making their money, living their best life. And it's through word of mouth. If you know, and that's how they're doing it.
I love that you brought that up. We're at the end of the show, but there's a whole nother conversation there.
A whole nother conversation I can have.
There's a whole nother conversation there around industry shifts and the idea of making your own way. I have so many thoughts there. But Zena, is there anything that you want to leave the people with before we let you go?
Yes, you can follow me on LinkedIn at Zena Island. You see how you spell it. And then also I'm at ZenaPR.com, XINA, P as in Paul, R as in Robert.com. And you also can reach me on LinkedIn. So, and Instagram. It was a pleasure to be
Thank
on.
you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, beautiful.
Shout out to Zena. She's been such a great friend, such a great PR professional for us at BGV. And so, yeah, it's a joy working on her. Zena PR, XINAPR.com. So, yeah, make sure y'all check her out. We got to go. That's it. We gotta
That's
go.
it. We
Thank y'all
gotta
so
go.
much. This is, I do want to make a couple announcements. This is the last week of the 30-day show, this iteration. We wrap up on Wednesday. I think it is. Thursday. We wrap up on Thursday. I want to thank everybody who's been joining us every day so far, tuning in. Also, things we have coming up at BGV. We're going to have a summit in DC. It's the Futures We Build Summit. I'm going to drop this link right here in the chat for y'all. Ooh, Lord, y'all, I need the wrong button. I don't even know what screen I'm looking at. Where did it go? Okay. Yeah, child, that's the thing. And the more multifunctional it becomes, the more you get lost in whatever tabs you had open or was supposed to have. Futures We Build Summit, go check that out. Another thing that is happening is we are doing a TikTok telethon that will be happening. So donate $19 for the 19th. So in celebration of Juneteenth, Lord child, of Juneteenth, you can go donate to BGV, just $19. Okay. There's one more thing I meant to tell y'all. What is it?
My God.
I'm losing it.
It's okay. It'll come back. And tomorrow you're going to have it. And we're going to tell them. And that's the thing. Tomorrow you're going to have it.
Tomorrow I'm going to have it. And I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I was supposed to tell y'all today. That's how it works over 40. Okay. Over 40, I had it so sure and so clear.
Until you
just 30 seconds ago.
Until you didn't.
Poof. It's gone. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate y'all. All right. Again, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see all of y'all tomorrow morning. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good rest of your day.
Have a good day.